KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. Happy Thursday. It is August 1st. But before we get to weather, we have some breaking news that we are following this morning.
Yeah, some developing news here. The United States and Russia have agreed to swap prisoners in a multi-part deal. The swap will allow Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan to return home.
Now, Gershkovich was arrested by Russian officials in March of 2023 for espionage. Whelan was also accused of espionage and was arrested in December of 2018. Both men were found guilty and sentenced to 16 years in prison. At this time, it's not known who the U.S. will be sending back to Russia. This is a developing story that we'll be following throughout the morning. Yeah,
make sure to check out KSAT.com and, of course, our apps and news readers for more information on that. All right, 80 degrees outside.
For now, let's look at that 80 degrees. So actually, we started not too bad, 78, not too warm, but now the sun's out, so we are starting to feel that warmth make a comeback, I guess.
Yeah, those clouds have cleared out.
Yeah, they cleared out a little early.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a hot afternoon. There's no two ways around it. Yesterday, of course, was very hazy. The Saharan dust, it's still tracking through, but I think things are actually going to improve as we get into the afternoon. In fact, the air quality has gotten better. Here's the forecast dust, and you can see it's just a little lighter over San Antonio. The thicker dust now up around Dallas and Texarkana. That's for this afternoon. And by the time we get into, say, tomorrow morning, the dust is really starting to clear out. So we'll go back to more blue skies, but it's still going to be hot and humid. Our heat high sitting over the Texas Panhandle this morning. So the heat is on in places like Oklahoma City, Abilene, El Paso, Dallas. We're not above 100, but we may be as we get into the weekend. Temperatures are forecast to be near 100 on Saturday. 98 on Sunday. Here's the little bit of good news is that there's an outside chance of a shower or storm, mainly north of the area on Saturday, but on Sunday we could see one or two isolated storms here in town. That's the hope anyway, to get a little bit of relief from this heat. Drought monitor is in. What kind of improvements did we see? We'll take a look. But we have some issues on the roadways. We got to get to that now. RJ, what's going on?
All right, certainly do, Justin. Yes, this is going to be on the northeast side of town as we take a look right there. And that appears to be a vehicle that is on its side. Not sure what happened here in terms of this accident, but this is going to be the northbound lanes of I-35 at Thousand Oaks. Right now, TxDOT is reporting that there is at least one main lane blocked right there on the right-hand side. It looks like the entrance to ramp 235 is also going to be blocked there. So traffic is moving along on the left-handed couple of lanes there on 35 northbound. But again, overturned vehicle right here causing some major delays for our drivers on the northeast side. We will continue to monitor this situation. Stephanie?
Yeah, well, hopefully everybody's okay out there.
Yeah.
Let's look at today's 9 at 9.
Vice President Kamala Harris is in Houston today to speak at the funeral of Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. Last night, Harris addressed the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority, one of the historically black fraternities and sororities in Houston, about a comment made by former President Donald Trump stating that Harris had in the past only promoted her Indian heritage. Harris responded briefly during her address to the sorority, saying that Trump's display was an example of his divisiveness and disrespect. Harris is the first black woman and Asian American to serve as vice president.
Overseas, 2 back-to-back strikes in Beirut and Tehran targeted high-ranking figures in Hezbollah and Hamas have been attributed to Israel. Now, in Tehran, a memorial service is underway for Hamas's political leader who was killed while in the Iranian capital in the early hours of Wednesday morning. That targeted strike has caused tremendous outrage across the region. Israel has not directly claimed responsibility for the strike.
Starting today, the CDC is rolling out new rules for people traveling with dogs. All dogs entering the U.S. must appear healthy upon arrival, be at least 6 months old, and be microchipped. Pet owners must also have a receipt showing that a dog import form was submitted on the CDC's website. The new regulations are aimed at preventing the spread of rabies.
Weeks before classes begin, another setback could delay financial aid for college students this fall. The Education Department says colleges will not be able to submit corrections in bulk to update students' financial aid records. It is the latest setback in the launch of the new free application for federal student aid website, also known as FAFSA. The Education Department said it will offer technical assistance to help schools with the process.
The bad patch pushed out by cybersecurity company CrowdStrike that knocked millions of computers offline has now earned the company a lawsuit from some of its shareholders. The suit accuses CrowdStrike of misleading everyone about how it tests its software. Delta Airlines is also expected to seek damages after the airline said that the outage cost them $500 million in losses.
Washington, D.C.'s Attorney General claims StubHub is tricking customers into overpaying for tickets by hiding mandatory fees until just before buyers make their purchase. It's called drip pricing. In a new lawsuit against the company, it claims it's a bait and switch that has helped generate $118 million in hidden fees from Washington, D.C. consumers over nearly a decade.
Google Maps and Waze are getting safety upgrades in the coming weeks. Drivers will be able to easily report crashes, cameras, and traffic. Platforms will remain separate, but user reports made in one app will show up in the other.
A disease is forcing you to pay more for your morning orange juice. The USDA says a tree disease known as citrus greening is threatening the entire industry from Florida to California and Texas. Orange juice prices are up 80% in the last 4 years.
And check this out. It's been 60 years since this photo was taken. It's the first picture of the moon taken by a United States spacecraft. On July 31st, 1964, NASA's Ranger 7 successfully took thousands of photos before it crashed into the moon. Until that year, there weren't any close-ups or detailed pictures of the lunar surface. Those images taken helped identify safe moon landing sites for the historic Apollo 11 mission in 1969. And that's today's 9 at 9. Well, black smoke, big fires, and a feeling of outright fear. As you take a look behind me, that's how neighbors have described living near certain recycling centers and salvage yards in San Antonio.
Well, now as Avery Everett shows us, the city is building a task force to review how it regulates the facilities.
Some days there's beyond African dust in the air.
For months, we've heard safety concerns about salvage yards in San Antonio.
It's always been a problem, but lately it has gotten worse.
Reports of fires, smoke, and dust come from more than just one community here.
All we want is a safer environment.
And now the city says it's time to take action.
We don't want to shut down any business, but at the same time, we want the safety for our community.
San Antonio is currently building a task force to review 2 city codes related to metal and used auto part recyclers.
I'm sure we're going to have a lot of heated conversations from both sides. At the end of the day, we want to find that middle ground that works for both sides.
The group of community members and industry representatives will work to update violation procedures and citation impacts. Recyclers have until Wednesday night to fill out an online application to be considered for the commission. But community spots are still open, and city council members will get to fill those seats.
It's definitely a first step that's needed.
Development Services wants to finalize the task force by next week. Neighbors say this first community meeting brought relief that change will soon come, but they say it's still all long overdue.
I deal with everything every single day.
And I hope that they're willing to listen to the residents that are actually living in the neighborhoods that their businesses are potentially polluting.
Because it's your reality.
It is. It's our neighborhood. It's our home.
Now, this task force is going to be pretty busy over the next couple of months because the goal is to present those findings by early 2025. Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Well, and just a heads up, starting today, single-use plastic bags are no longer allowed in blue recycling bins. So the San Antonio Solid Waste Management Department is no longer accepting those single-use plastic bags to address issues caused by processing them. Now, the city said the bags thrown in the blue bin with other items become entangled, making them difficult to recycle. So the new rule starts today. And for more information on this, you can visit our website, ksat.com.
And if you need another explainer, head over to KSAT News' Instagram account, because we posted a really kind of fun, creative video. Only the mind of Garrett Berger can come up.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a plastic bag puppet basically explaining these, and I think the name of that Garrett gave the plastic bag was Plastric. Like Patrick.
I didn't.
Plastric
Yeah, you're
bag.
right. 'Cause you see the little name. They put it there for you, but
Yeah.
Mr. Plastric.
Plastric.
Yes. He already has fans already. Yeah.
He does. Yeah, and it's super creative. And again, great job by Garrett and one of our interns, Isabel,
Yes,
putting that
Isabella.
together.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Time now 9:07 and 80 degrees for now.
Still ahead on GMSA at 9. For nearly 4 decades, they have been known for their Southern-style cooking. After the break, we're going to tell you what's next for the Acadiana Cafe.
Well, welcome back. It's 9/11. They have been known for their Cajun-style cooking, and inside the walls of Acadiana Cafe are many memories and ongoing laughter.
Of course, if you've ever been to this iconic restaurant, the room called the Military Room has a familiar look and feel, and it is also taken on a life of its own. Patty Santos tells us more about the Military Room and the names etched on its walls.
I don't know who was the first newly minted air person to do this, but they started.
David Saylor points to the names carved and some sharpied on the walls of the military party room at Acadiana Cafe in the West Side.
Oh, this is her right here. This is her right here. She's actually my second cousin, and she graduated from the squadron.
They are the names of basic trainees from 4 different squadrons who stopped to eat at his restaurant before heading out.
We opened in December of 1986. Patty, I'm not sure how this became the military room, but it is. The party room at Acadiana is the Air Force/military room.
It's taken a life of its own.
One of our regulars donated this.
Partly thanks to customers, like the one who dedicated an old panoramic photo of Randolph Air Force Base to moments in history.
Here's original newspaper clippings of Hawaii being bombed by Japanese planes. This Marine, that's his pictures here, he used to work here at Acadiana.
Last week, Saylor announced the sale of his Cajun-style restaurant building. It will reopen under new management as a Mexican restaurant. Naturally, I had to ask, what happens with his room?
The people that bought the building, they're dedicated to preserving all of this and even expanding on it.
Oh, wow. Yes. I was worried about that.
It's going to be maintained as it is, and it's going to be even expanded on.
All right, awesome. That's good news. I'm glad. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first at KSAT 12, on site at Acadiana Cafe.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
We're glad that they're going to continue catering, so
Yes.
people will still be able to have the food as well.
Yeah, obviously a lot of people have enjoyed Mr. Saylor's food for decades on end, including yourself, Stephanie.
Yeah, I mean, we went growing up a few times. I mean, it was right in the neighborhood, right close to John Jay High School, and I was telling you guys earlier that people would host parties there.
Yeah,
And,
sure.
My mom hosted a baby shower for my sister-in-law, so it was nice place, nice people for sure.
Well, I love that they're keeping the military room. That's,
Yes.
Absolutely,
that's great.
yes.
That is really good to know.
Yeah, very well done. The drought monitor is in. It's Thursday, of course, and this was last week's drought monitor, if you remember. And we got a lot of rain over the last couple of weeks, and we talked about the fact, well, it didn't include all that heavy rain around Bandera. So let's show you what today's drought monitor looks like, and it didn't change much. I was really surprised by this. This is an area that got a ton of rain, but somehow it still did not lift them out of drought. So we still have an extreme drought for a small portion of Bandera, Kerr, and Kendall counties. It did get a little better, but not by much. And again, I'm sort of surprised by that. And this is going to be a dry week, so I doubt you're going to see much change as we get into next week's drought monitor. But we did see some improvement towards Uvalde and Del Rio. So, baby steps here. It feels like that's what we've been doing to kind of get out of this drought, but it is getting better and better. And July was a huge help. You look at July rainfall, and this is a pretty incredible calendar to look at when you consider July is one of our driest months, at least typically it is. The 18th through the 25th, we either had a trace or measurable rainfall each and every day. Wow, that was at the airport. And so some places did get more rain than this, but we totaled 4.25. That is 1.84 inches above average. August is going to start on a dry note, unfortunately. We're not expecting much other than maybe a few showers or storms this weekend. Outside right now, it is still a little hazy. You can see that as we look towards downtown with partly cloudy skies and temperatures now starting to warm. 80 in San Antonio, 81 Converse, 75 Bernie, and we still have a good southerly wind. The wind was pretty gusty yesterday. I think we'll see a similar setup today. The morning clouds really are already starting to break up here around San Antonio. We're not seeing as many as we did in the days previous. The thicker clouds out west, Hondo over to Uvalde, a little thicker stratus deck, but these will break up and we'll be left with mostly sunny skies this afternoon. Did want to show you the air quality. This is actually better. If you were watching this morning, we still had some of that orange color on here, which represented unhealthy for those who are sensitive. That has gone away, so I think the dust in general is getting a little bit better, or at least the air quality is a little bit better. But I did have a lot of people tell me the dust was bothering their allergies, so it is going to be around, as we said, throughout the rest of today. High pressure in the upper levels moves off to the north and west. This opens the door a little bit and allows a weak frontal boundary to drift south on Saturday. Does it get close enough to give us some rain on Saturday? I think it probably still stays to the north, but the hill country will have an opportunity late in the day to get a shower or storm. And as this front kind of hangs around, look, it's not going to move through. It's not going to cool us down, but it can sometimes just give us a little bit of lift. And I think that happens Sunday afternoon. So I have a 20% chance of rain in on Sunday. If we see anything, it's going to be few and far between, but I do think the opportunity is there. And that is it as you look over the next 6 days. It's just over the weekend that we have any sort of rain chance. 89 noontime. We'll be up around 97, but that feels like number near 105 later today. 91 at 8 o'clock. We're down to 88 by 9 p.m. in the extended forecast. 98 tomorrow. Saturday probably is our hottest day at 100. And it'll be plenty hot next week as well.
Yes, it will. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed for the rain chances on Sunday, the 20%, or some cloud cover at least.
If it rains at your house, you are definitely winning the weather lottery for that day.
Yeah. Well, if it happens, I'll take pictures and send them to you.
Please do.
So make sure to hydrate.
Yeah.
You were at the Missions game yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to be out and about.
Yeah, at least it gets pretty shady in the evenings there, so it felt okay.
I still want to see pictures of you and the Mama Pena.
You have the pictures?
I didn't get one.
Oh.
I'm just going to envision it.
Next time, Justin.
918 right now, 80 degrees outside.
Well, after the break, in this morning consumer headlines, interest rates and the path they are headed, plus Instagram glitches and AI coming soon to a fast food drive-thru.
Welcome back. Well, new in this morning's consumer headlines, interest rates are staying where they are for now. Instagram glitches leading to some lost stories, and Dorito Loco taco lovers, Taco Bell's implementing new tech at one of its drive-thrus.
Well, our digital journalist Ivan Adetta is here with more on those stories. Good morning, Ivan.
Good morning, guys. I'm actually really excited about the Taco Bell, but first, let's talk about interest rates. They are staying put for now. The U.S. Federal Reserve says that its benchmark interest rates will stay at their current levels. That federal funds rate is currently between 5.25 and 5.5%, and it's been a full year since the cost of borrowing reached a 23-year high. A cut would have helped lower borrowing costs on things like mortgages, car loans, and credit cards. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell suggested Wednesday that the Fed may cut rates in September, which is before the holiday season starts. A lot of people applying for credit cards. It's definitely something that we're going to be keeping an eye on as those decisions are being made. And did your archived Instagram stories seem to permanently disappear yesterday? Turns out the glitch affected several users. What's not known is how many, since Meta, which owns Instagram, declined to share that information. A Meta spokesperson said the company found and fixed the bug, but were unable to restore some users' story highlights. If your story archives were permanently lost, the company says you should see a notice on your Instagram. Meta says the black screen error message on those lost stories should be gone by next July. And next time you pull into a Taco Bell drive-thru, you may be speaking to an artificial intelligence bot instead of a live person. The chain says it's expanding its use of AI voice technology to hundreds of U.S. locations by the end of the year. Taco Bell already implemented this change across more than 100 locations in 13 states. The parent company, Yum Brands, wants to use AI voice for all of its chains, including KFC and Pizza Hut. Yum Brands says workers are not expected to be replaced due to the changes, but it will free them up to focus on other tasks like making food. The company says that employees will still be listening in and can intervene to complete the order if there's an issue. Now, Taco Bell is not the first to try out this technology. McDonald's actually pulled the plug on its AI project after having too many customer complaints about wrong orders. Guys, I don't even know if my Taco Bell back home has that yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did already. It's really exciting stuff.
Remind us where back home is for you.
Oh, back home in the Valley. Yes.
Valley. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see. That'll be interesting on on how people order. At least in Laredo, sometimes you have to order. Well, you don't have to order in Spanish, but they ask you what your order is in Spanish. So I'm wondering how that would be in the Valley, like with AI.
And then the one that I have down the street from me here in San Antonio, it's really exciting stuff because I'm always there, so I'm excited.
I just want to know if these AI bots are going to know how much fire sauce I want in my meal.
I hope so. I hope so. Just for your sake.
Like, give me that extra fire sauce.
Well, maybe that's when the employees who are listening will jump in and help us out, right?
Exactly. They're going to intervene. Thank y'all.
That should be interesting. Yeah, definitely.
Well, time now is 9:25, and we're about 80 degrees right now, so we still have more on GMSA at 9. And before we head to break, let's take a look out at TransGuide.
Yeah, I do want to give you an update here. This is 35 northbound at Thousand Oaks, and just got a tweet from TxDOT. They are saying to expect some major delays there due to this crash. So we had this vehicle on its side. Looked like it was carrying some PVC pipes that may have spilled on the highway there. So expect some delays if you're coming up on 35 northbound, northeast side, right there at Starlight Terrace. We'll continue to follow this, and we will be right back.
Welcome back. It's almost 9:29. Well, from scrums to stars, the women's national rugby team made history this week, bringing home bronze and their first medal ever in the 2024 Olympics.
Yes, this was a big, dramatic win, last-second win there on the biggest stage, and that has put the spotlight on the sport of rugby and the women who play it. So John Paul Barras, I saw him yesterday walking through our halls with the rugby. I was like, let me see what this guy's up to. He apparently met up with a local women's team to learn about the sport and give it a try.
This is a scrum.
Rugby. It's an old game with a lot of new interest here in the U.S. And it's in large part due to the women's national team bringing home bronze in the Olympics.
Oh, I was definitely watching in that last play. You know, they're back against their own try line. They're at the very end of the field, and she just runs over some people and sprints at 90 meters, and it was fantastic.
A try line is essentially the end zone in football. And in football terms, the U.S. women's team had a run go the length of the field for a touchdown or a try in rugby to win on the last play of the game. So we laced up with the San Antonio Riveters to give the sport a try.
The ball's at my hip. As I'm turning, I keep my hands out to wherever I'm going.
They taught me the basics on passing and said two things are a must. Run forward and pass backwards.
Cat, there you go.
Back here.
Oh, damn.
I had my good moments.
You're a natural.
I don't know what I was doing, Coach. I just saw daylight.
But they also took it easy on me.
Yeah, I'm not letting you hit him that hard. She is one of the hardest tacklers we have.
Okay, so this way.
All right.
No, ma'am.
Not to mention some rookie mistakes.
Put your head in there. Nope, the other side. There you go.
The Riveters are hoping Team USA's big win becomes a big draw for the sport as a whole.
But when I turn on ESPN, I'm getting golf more than anything, right? I don't want to watch golf, I want to watch rugby.
As well as inspires a new wave of women to get involved.
Not only be athletic, but we can also compete in really tough sports and be strong.
For anyone who wants to give rugby a shot or learn more about the game, you can go to KSAT.com.
It's an opportunity for y'all to showcase it to people who don't know about it, try to get people out here. So if there's anything interesting or cool that y'all want to show off, y'all tell me.
It's more the community.
I was brought here by the Army, decided to stay. And one of the reasons I stayed was because my rugby community.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Awesome job, John Paul. Way to give that rugby a try.
That tackle, I mean, I got him down to his ground. JP, he works out, obviously.
He does, yeah. I mean, he plays basketball and other sports. So good job for trying out something new. And he was out there in the heat right now. Not so bad, though, Justin, at 80 degrees.
Yeah, JP plays on my basketball team. He's a sharpshooter, but he might need a little work on the rugby. He's getting there, though.
Yeah, those girls are tough, though.
Yeah.
They are. Let's take a look at this picture on our KSAT Connect. This is, well, as they put it, a walking phasmid. Now, I'd never heard that word before, but it's the name for all of, like, the stick bugs. Who knew? But we appreciate you sending this in. Those are always really cool to see. If you see them climbing up the wall, they do. They look like a stick. That was out of China Grove. G. Ramirez sending that in. Appreciate it. And as we look at the pollen count, Fall Elm leads the way. Today it's moderate, 120 molds are low. They have dropped off big time. Pigweed is low. And of course, we still have some Saharan dust that you got to deal with. Our forecast heat index today, up around 104 here in San Antonio, 105 Stinson, 106 in Forestville, 107 in Nixon. So it is going to feel very hot this afternoon. In the tropics, we've got something brewing still. Folks in Florida are going to need to be on the lookout for this. We'll talk about it and where it's headed coming up in just a couple minutes. Guys.
All right, Justin, and want to update all of our drivers out there, northeast side, 35 northbound, Thousand Oaks. We have a situation out here causing a major delay for some of our drivers. TxDOT tweeted out that you are expected to have some major delays out there. Thousand Oaks at Starlight Terrace. We had a vehicle that was on its side. It is back upright, but there may have been some PVC pipes that spilled on that part of the highway. So we have one lane of traffic open on the left-handed side, but that entrance ramp 235 right now is shut down at the moment, and we will continue to monitor this situation as we move along. Stephanie?
Thank you, RJ. We could see right now the U.S. leads in the total number of medals right now. So right there at the top. Yeah, okay, good. You can see it. Well, speaking of that, Simone Biles leading the U.S. women's gymnastics team to a gold medal in the team final on Tuesday. And that has sparked a lot of excitement among the gymnastics community, to the youngest athletes to longtime veterans and coaches.
Yes, Simone, the most decorated gymnast in our history. And right here in San Antonio, for some local athletes, watching the women compete was not only exciting, but also very inspiring as well, especially with the comeback of the greatest of all time, Simone Biles.
Oh, yeah. My favorite gymnast is probably Suni Soli. And Simone Biles.
No matter who's your favorite gymnast on the U.S. women's gymnastics team, the entire team now winning gold and winning hearts, including the hearts of local athletes.
What does it mean to you to see, some of these, very, very talented gymnasts who are competing in Paris?
It encourages me to be like them one day, so I can watch them and learn stuff from them, so I can get to their place one day.
Push down on the bar.
It's preseason for competitors at the Southern Gymnastics Club in San Antonio. However, these young athletes were able to take a break from training to watch the best of the best in gymnastics.
What do you see when you see them watching what's on the screen here, like for example today?
Oh, they just fall in love with the sport a little bit more. They get to be a part of something bigger than themselves, which is what team sports is all about. And so watching Simone and Jordan and Jade accomplish all their goals really makes us feel a part of it.
What's happening at the Paris Olympics, hitting close to home here in San Antonio. All the local gymnasts have their eyes on the USA women's gymnastics team, and especially Simone Biles as she makes her comeback.
Some of the girls have gone through things, and so I can kind of see how that didn't stop them from making them Olympics. So it kind of helps me.
And gymnastics is also a sport that co-owner of Southern Gymnastics Club, Jeremy Veit, believes should be top of mind all the time, not just during the Olympics.
Sports don't have to be about gold medals. They don't have to be about the Olympics. They don't have to be about college scholarships. Sports are about developing time management, discipline, work ethic, learning how to respond when you get knocked down, learning how to fight through adversity.
Well, very interesting story there. And you just heard from the co-owner of Southern Gymnastics about some of that adversity that these gymnasts face, that some of our Olympic athletes, also face throughout their entire careers.
That's true. Well, many people have been focused on not only the success of Simone Biles, but also the setback that she experienced years ago and now her comeback. So KSAT 12 producer Haley Powers is also a gymnast and joins us this morning to tell us a little bit about Simone Biles' experience hitting close to home, not only for her, but also many athletes out there. Good morning.
Good morning, Haley. Good to see you with us this morning. First of all, Haley, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been doing gymnastics, and how have you remained involved with gymnastics even today?
Yeah, so I started gymnastics at 10, which is primarily pretty older for a gymnast. Most start when they're 3 or 4, but I loved it. I had a passion for it. I excelled. I got to what's called level 9. Level 10 is the highest that you can go before you can go to elite, which is what Simone does. Yeah, so my favorite event was bars. There's a lot of bars videos in here.
Wow.
Also, this is from 2010, 2008, so the videos are not as good quality. But it's okay.
That's amazing.
Still fun.
Oh my God.
Still fun. But yeah, so now today, I'm a coach here in San Antonio. I coach at Olympia Gymnastics. I absolutely love coaching kids and taking my passion and helping them learn about the sport.
Oh my goodness, I love seeing these videos, Haley. Props to you, my goodness.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff there.
I love this. Well, but because you're very well experienced in this, when Simone Biles experienced the twisties, is what you said a few years back, we understand this really hit home for you as well.
Yeah, so social media does not help when it comes to people trying to explain the sport of gymnastics. People just assume that Simone gave up. And the twisties is a very, very scary thing to experience as a gymnast, because what happens is you lose the mind-body connection. So in your head, you know you're going to go for a skill, but then for some reason when you're going for the body, you stop. And that happened to me when I was learning a new skill on floor. I started twisting too early to where we had to stop it and break down the skill to the very, very basic of it. And that is just, it's mentally challenging because it's scary because you're not in control anymore. So I applaud Simone, because not only did she come back from the twisties, she's doing the skills she was doing when she got the twisties. And she's not letting the twisties stop her, and she's not letting what people have said on social media break her down. And she has pretty much gone out there and just proven that anyone can come back from this, because it is really a mental thing.
And it took a lot of courage. I know in Tokyo, it was very difficult for an athlete of her level to be able to step down during those games. But then now the redemption tour, obviously, that's what she had been calling it. What do you think about her comeback? Obviously, she's the greatest of all time, the GOAT when it comes to women's gymnastics, I guess all gymnastics in general. What do you think that kind of impact has had on other athletes, and also just being able to see her rise back up?
Well, I think it just plays a big toll to mental health in general, because your mental health has to come first. I mean, yes, she was on the stage. It's not great that it happened on that big of a stage, but it happens. And she is now a voice of mental health and being able to protect yourself no matter what people are saying. And I think younger kids are going to look up to that, because they're going to get the twisties, they're going to get mental blocks, and they're going to need help. And they're going to look at Simone and be like, oh, wow, she can do this, I can do this. And I think you can't, no gold medal matches that.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of young kids looking up to Simone and even Suni, today they can get to watch them again, right?
Yeah, so the women's all-around final is happening today, and it's going to be a good one. I mean, yes, we have Simone and Suni, but there's also some gymnasts from Brazil, some gymnasts from Italy who can give them a run for their money, and it's going to be very exciting. And then Simone and Suni, you have your 2016, 2021, technically, gold medalists, and it's the first time the USA is going to have 2 gold medalists competing in the all-around final, and there's just a lot of history being made here, and it's going to be so exciting to watch.
Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have a prediction for who's going to win? Because I see Suni Lee and I see Simone, and I see that they are the elite of the elite. So I imagine it's between them, and you mentioned the Brazilians also have pretty good gymnasts as well.
So I really do think Simone still has an edge over Suni because of her difficulty is just so high and it's so unmatched that I think she can still go ahead and take first. I do think Suni will get second, and then I think Brazil's Rebecca Andrade will get third.
Oh my goodness. And of course, it's coming up later this morning, I'm sure.
Oh, I will be watching.
You'll be watching for sure. And I'm sure a lot of young athletes will probably get the opportunity to watch as well, because school hasn't started for most of these kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's happening. Of course, it's in Paris, so it's like, what, 5 or 6 hour difference, so it's different here. But also, I think even if it's in school, kids would still be paying attention, and it'll still run tonight. But it's just great because, yes, gymnastics is a big picture right now, but it's a big picture every time. It's not just every Olympic cycle. I mean, you have college gymnastics, you have all the elite competitions that happen that people can watch and keep up with gymnastics throughout the entire time from now until 2028. There's always gymnastics on.
Yes, well, not only to watch, but also to work hard towards, because some people think, oh, it's just happening now. No, they're training all the time,
No,
right?
you have to train. It's a lot of training. It's a lot of sacrifice, but it's worth it.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing your story. I mean, you've inspired people out there.
That was incredible stuff, Haley. I've never seen those videos. Now I'm like, okay, I'm a believer now.
Me too.
You always talked about your game.
We believe you.
Oh, yes. I love talking about gymnastics.
Much respect for you, Haley.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, time now is 9:42, 80 degrees outside. You are watching GMSA at 9.
Well, caught on camera and trapped in a pipe after the break, what the family is saying about their little boy who is now safely recovering this morning.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us on GMSA at 9. Now to the harrowing rescue of a toddler caught on camera after the 1-year-old got trapped and, get this, 12 feet underground in a narrow pipe.
Or Sarah Costa tells us about the moment he was pulled out unharmed.
This morning, police body camera video capturing the harrowing rescue of a toddler trapped inside a pipe north of Wichita, Kansas.
He's probably 8 feet down.
First responders racing to this front yard in Moundridge on Sunday afternoon, finding 14-month-old Bentley wedged inside an underground PVC pipe just 12 inches in diameter and up to 12 feet deep after he stepped on an unsecured cover.
We're gonna get you out, Bentley, it's okay.
The moment it happened, Mom, Elizabeth, right next to him, saying Bentley was walking in new shoes for the first time and disappeared before her eyes.
When he stepped on it, it flipped. He fell so fast, I automatically screamed.
The scream caught on home security camera, his father Blake seen running. Bentley's mother trying to keep him calm.
Bentley boy, drop him right here. We're getting him out, it's okay.
Emergency workers first trying to get him out using just a rope.
The problem is that a 14-month-old does not follow commands.
Then working quickly together to create a catch pole, sliding the rope through a smaller PVC pipe and creating a loop, guiding it down and around Bentley's little body.
We kind of tightened the rope up, and then it was just a slow lift.
Less than 5 minutes later, the toddler emerging understandably shaken but uninjured.
There we go.
First responders carefully removing the rope and placing him on a stretcher, Bentley clutching his mother inside an ambulance.
After they pulled him out, I mean, it must have been 5 minutes and he was being his little Bentley self again.
The family thankful for the quick action of the team that brought him out safely.
Could not be more thankful for the swift collaboration of our community and how well they came together to get him out.
We worked well together. God put the right people at the right place at the right time.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
My goodness, I'm glad Bentley's okay.
Yes, I mean, yeah, that was an incredible video.
Terrifying.
And of course, great to see that he is okay. And 5 minutes later, he was back to being his normal Bentley self.
Yes, thank goodness. Well, out there with our zoo cam, you can see there's actually, I mean, we saw that there were not that many clouds out in the sky. So this is an interesting shot of our friends, the flamingos. Looks like they actually have some shade, Justin.
Yeah, is that Kevin up there to the side?
Did he making a visit
Kevin
to
likes
the flamingos?
the screen time. He's always up there.
He's like, oh, what? We're not showing hippos. Right.
Yeah.
Not showing hippos. I'll just head over to the flamingo camera.
Yeah, they're all moving around out there. That's for sure. Yeah, the sun is out. It's going to be a warm day. It's still a good day to go to the zoo, but make sure you hydrate. Find some shade. Those trees, those big trees there at the zoo, always a nice place to kind of stop. We got to go out to the tropics, guys, because things are really starting to heat up. And we have Carlotta now out in the Pacific. We're likely going to get Daniel here probably today. So you'll have 2 tropical storms out in the Pacific. And then there's another little area of disturbed weather, probably not going to be a problem. That's well to the west. And then, of course, in the Atlantic, this is what we would focus on. This wave here, still pretty elongated, doesn't look great, but it is forecast to move into a more favorable environment for some development. Now, it's going to have to cross over Cuba, and then from there, Still some questions as to where it would go. I mean, it hasn't even formed yet. So it's hard to get an exact idea of where this may travel. But we are getting our first spaghetti plots here. And man, these are just taking it every which way. We got just a big curly Q here. That's the problem. Again, we still don't even have a center of circulation, but I think there are some questions as to where this may go. Should we worry about it in Texas? Probably not, but I'd say let's go ahead and keep an eye on it just in case. Folks in Florida definitely do, and really honestly, anyone there across the northern part of the Gulf Coast there probably should as well. We'll continue to update you here in the coming days on how that evolves. Meantime, we've got high pressure over Texas, and you can really kind of see everything's rotating around our ridge at this point. We do have some clouds and some showers out in the Gulf of Mexico, some storms up around Chicago, but all in all, pretty quiet scenario for much of the country. And that's due to this sprawling high pressure system, which right now is over the Texas Panhandle. Shifts to the north and west some. Despite that, you're still going to get some pop-up showers and storms in the monsoonal flow, more or less, out west. And then with us, we're going to be watching this weak frontal boundary kind of shifting south. And that may get close enough to spark off a couple of showers by Saturday. I think mainly north of us. But by the time we get into Sunday, this may be enough to get some isolated showers and storms going even here around San Antonio. The odds are low. I think most of us are going to stay dry. It's going to be awful hot. But a select few may get a cooling downpour, and that would be really nice. As we look outside right now, mostly sunny skies here in San Antonio, 80 degrees, 81 New Braunfels, upper 70s for Bernie and Kerrville, and a good south and southeasterly wind at this point. We'll see some breezy winds throughout today. The morning clouds, yeah, they're fairly thin over San Antonio. They do thicken up as you go west. Uvalde, Hondo, Del Rio looking at quite a bit of cloud cover at this hour. In our forecast, 89 noontime, mostly sunny. We're up to 97. Feels like number probably around 103 to 105 with humidity levels the way they are. And then down to 91 at 8 o'clock, 88 9 p.m. Extended forecast, 98 tomorrow. Saturday, our hottest day. I do think we're up near 100. And then 98 Sunday, upper 90s next week.
All right, but not the rain that we had last week.
Not the rain we had last week, no.
Thank you, Justin.
All right, it is 9:52 right now and 80 degrees outside.
So before we head to break, we want to give a big birthday shout out to Lorena Avedez. She is turning 6 years old today. Happy birthday.
She is beautiful. Lorena, happy birthday from all of us here at KSAT.
Have a good day.
All right, we want to leave our drivers on a good note here because traffic has cleared out there. Oh boy, okay, never mind. the joys of live TV. Anyways, 35 northbound Thousand Oaks, that has cleared out. Yeah. We're taking a look now at I-10 at De Zavala Road, and we have an incident here. Looks like that might be the eastbound traffic coming in. So we will check in on this. And if we have any more information on this, you can find it on KSAT.com. The joys of live TV, y'all.
I know, it changed just like that.
And I think you're right, RJ, because it looks like it's looking back at that new I-10 1604 interchange. It's 97 today. We still have some hazy skies. That dust is going to start to shift out of here, though. And we'll see less of the haze tomorrow. 98 on your Friday. The hope is that we'll get a few isolated showers or storms this weekend, although don't get your hopes too high because the chances are pretty low. And it will be hot all the way through.
Yes, it will. But I'm hoping for at least cloud cover. I'll take that just to
a couple clouds. That's all we're asking for.
Just a little bit.
Just make sure to stay hydrated out there if you are about to head out.
For sure. Thanks for joining us.